For my STAR event project, I decided to complete job interview. This is the cover page. It just says what I did and then my name. Here's the table of contents, the list of things that's included in my project, and then just the identifying information. This is a copy of the planning process that I used while creating this project. The evidence of STAR of online project summary submission, and then here's one of the dividers. We're allowed 4 dividers in this project. Job specification and the things that the research behind the job that I was applying for. This is a filled out application that the FCCLA office requires that we fill out for this particular STAR event. It's a specific job application. This is my cover letter that I created. My resume. This is one of the letters of recommendation, and then this is the second letter of recommendation. Another divider. Career-related education. So this goes through things that I've learned that would prepare me for this career. I did a job shadow, and then I had a list of questions that the teachers I job shadowed answered for me. And then a knowledge of special skills that I have that would better prepare me for this job. For this job, I applied to be a special education teacher. I realized I'm a family and consumer science education teacher. I completed this project in high school, and so that's why it is the special education teacher. And that's it.
Hi! I'm Candace Rollins.
Nice to meet you.
Andrea Packer.
I'm Tracy.
Well, thank you for coming in today. We're glad that you would apply for our position. We're going to ask you a few questions about yourself, and if you have any questions throughout the interview, if you'll just go ahead and ask us as well. Okay, go ahead and begin by telling us about yourself and your background.
I grew up in a small town in Wyoming with 4 siblings, and that has helped me decide that I wanted to study education because I got to watch how my little siblings learned, and I was able to help them with some of the smaller homework tasks that they had. And then throughout my high school career, I also was able to work with the Peer Mentor program in the high school. And during that time, there was a class hour that I spent with the special education kids. And so during that time, I was able to help them with their homework and go into classes and watch how teachers implemented the IEPs and helped the students meet their goals. And I was able to watch a variety of teachers do that. And then after high school, I was able to also work as a behavior aide. And during that time, I implemented the IEP, and I watched how the behavior analyst of the school district prepared the IEP so that it was very easily read for the behavior aide, regular education teacher, and the special education teacher. And so it was working with that team that I was able to learn that this really is a very good program that I would like to make a difference in, and I was able to see how such one person can make a good difference in one kid's life. And so I loved that, and I loved learning about that. I also was able to learn about scheduling is a big deal for special education teachers, and I thought that was an amazing thing that I was able to learn, how I was able to watch how different teachers schedule and learn the system that works best for me. I also was able to learn the reward systems, and a passion of mine is skiing. I'm super excited for winter. I love that it's coming soon. And in high school, during the Peer Mentor class that I had, I was asked to participate in the behavior. One of the rewards that they had was that if the students had good behavior and if they met their goals that they had set for the semester, they were taken on a skiing trip. And I was able to go with them because of my background in skiing and the assistance that I can provide as a peer mentor during that time. I also have been able to, as mentioned, to spend a lot of time in the classroom. I have taught dance lessons and swimming lessons for a number of years. And while that is not specifically teaching in a education environment, I have learned how to change my teaching method so that all students can learn. There's different ways that students learn, and so I think that's important to realize that I can change me to help them learn, and that there's different ways to help the students learn the same information. And I have enjoyed recently teaching a student with autism and a student with cerebral palsy, and I think that has been a great experience for me to realize especially how I can change to meet their needs, because their needs are so vast and they have very high needs, and so it's been interesting to learn about that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So what strategies have you used to successfully help students manage their behavior?
One thing that I learned through that behavior, through the peer mentoring program, is that rewards and positive reinforcement is big. I think finding what a student is working for, what they like, and rewarding good behavior with the things that they like. I think that's the best ideal way to do that. Another thing that I learned is to, the best you can, kind of ignore bad behavior, because sometimes they like attention. And so if you can just ignore the bad behavior so that they're not getting that attention, I think is one way that is also really good. And then understanding why. If you can understand why the student is acting the way that they are acting, that provides a lot of background information, and you can help them understand a behavior that would be better so that they can learn and progress that way.
Thank you.
How do you motivate reluctant students to persevere with challenging assignments and tasks?
One thing that I think, especially with swimming, is helping them understand why it's important. Swimming is important because it's a life-saving skill. And in the education classroom, helping them understand why they need to learn what they're working on. Like, this will help you in this way throughout your life. So like math concepts can relate to cooking. And so I think that's one good practical application, if you can help them understand why. Or the positive reinforcement, help them guide them to do the behavior that you want by providing a positive reinforcement for the good behavior.
How would you encourage parents' involvement in their students' learning?
That is a great question. I think that is an important thing, because education can happen in the school, but it also needs to be enhanced by parent involvement at home. And so if those two things don't connect, sometimes that is difficult to handle. And I think helping parents stay informed through what you're doing in the classroom, and providing those objectives that you're working towards, and including them especially in the IEP process and the goals that you've created. And then sending home information about that and possible homework assignments that are easy for the parent and the student to understand, and encouraging them to come and ask you questions and meeting with them, I think, are ways to begin that parent involvement process.
So let's say you've done all of that and still no involvement.
That's a tricky situation. I think reaching out as much as you can, obviously, is still going to be the point to start. And then asking for help. I'm super new into the field, and so I know that is one of my weaknesses, is I don't know quite where to begin with that after that has been refused. And so there are people in the field that have experience there, and I would like to reach out for help in that area.
Thanks. Do you have any questions for us?
Not at the moment.
Well, thank you for coming in.
Thank you so much.